Welcome back to Bassline Fresh Detailing. On this video we have a Nissan Pathfinder. It has come in for a interior steam and a vacuum, but in this case it's not the usual type of detail. It's not for a client, it's for a family friend, so I'm not really under a time crunch and the expectations aren't as high as usual. So in this case I'm working pretty quickly, just a very basic vacuum and steaming up the front end of the car and all the doors, and of course some of the plastics around the rear and all around the car and stuff like that. As you can see here in these before video clips, lots of debris. There's 2 rows of seats here in the back, and where everyone's feet rest there's tons of debris, even underneath the rubber mat, all around the carpets and the bottom liner, tons of debris. So we'll work on that. I also, of course, do the front dash and the cup holders and things like that. I'll show more video clips of that coming up later in the video. Please remember, leave a like, subscribe. Bassline Fresh has way more detailing videos coming up, lots of tips and advice, and more disaster details. Jumping into it here, we'll start on the front passenger side. I have my trusty Stanley Shop Vac. It's a 6-gallon vac with 4 horsepower and a long attachment with a flexible rubber body. This lets me get into tight corners and areas, lets me flex around seats and in between cushions and stuff like that. Really useful to have. And then I have a large white medium bristle brush for large areas. And then, as you can see here, a special toothbrush for my carpets. And then if I was to do the seats, I have a separate softer toothbrush for the seats. And everything is color coded, so it's easy to find and easy to organize, and you're not mixing up really dirty things with, the cleaner type of stuff. Going in here with our first vacuum pass, I'm not really worried about brushing too deeply. I'm just getting the loose debris with a first vacuum, and then we go in and brush whatever trouble areas we need to get. Once we remove this top layer of carpet, take that carpeted mat out, get along the edges, the door trim, around the railings of the seat, get your toothbrush in there, and as you can see for these wide areas down near where your feet would rest in the footwell, I have a medium bristle white brush. It's really come in handy. You could use a drill brush as well. In the wider areas, I recommend that, but when you're getting deep into the details, it's better to use a toothbrush or something similar. Using this long rubber attachment and my toothbrush is the perfect combination to get in between these seats and underneath the seats, and around those cushions and really the tight areas. I have a more descriptive video coming out in a couple weeks up on the channel, so subscribe, be sure to look out for that. I had a person on Reddit actually ask me, why do detailers always skip over cleaning the seats and underneath and in between? So I answer that question and I give a lot of tips. Check that out. Moving on to the center console here, a quick vacuum. As you can notice, I'm switching between the regular nozzle and my attachment, and I'm wiping off the end as I go. Once again, I'm just using the attachment for the more dirtier floor, and then for the seats and the more, sensitive areas, I'm trying to keep it cleaner by taking off that hose attachment and using the cleaner nozzle end. On the front driver's side here, you can see there's a lot of debris, salt, rocks, pebbles, lots of dust embedded in this carpet down here. A little bit of backstory on this car. It's a 2015 white Nissan Pathfinder. I'm pretty sure this is the top trim. It's a Platinum Edition. It's a close family friend's car, so I told them I'd detail it for them really quickly, give them a nice basic service, make it feel fresh again. So it's lightly used. As you can see, there's pretty good debris. It shows up on the camera pretty well, but it's not disaster detail level yet. I've definitely dealt with worse. Maybe my standards are a little different than other people, but this wasn't really a challenge for me at this point. Here you can see our before and afters for our driver's side. Onto the carpets in the back, right behind the driver's side. You can see this is where it gets most of the traffic. Underneath the rubber mat that was here, there's still a lot of debris from people's shoes. So here's some very satisfying vacuuming clips as I go through and brush it down. The carpet of this Nissan is not that bad. It's very easy to brush. I've noticed that it does kind of hold on to certain types of dirt. Like if you have like actual plant dirt and soil, it gets embedded really easily, and things like sand. But the larger type of debris vacuums up pretty well. If you like what you see, please remember, leave a like and subscribe. I'm also on all other social media such as Reddit and Instagram. You can check out more of my work there. You can book appointments and you can ask for advice and stuff like that. Please check it out. Moving on to this back row now. Tons of debris under these seats in the footwell area. This stuff is obviously built up over time. Seems like these back seats get a lot of use. I did not expect this. Some of you guys might recognize this car. This is actually one of the first cars I've detailed and put it up on this channel. One of my first videos. So if you want, you can go back and watch that and see just how far I've come. My editing and even my work ethic and stuff like that, everything has drastically changed, and it's really cool to see. I think I'm on my 3rd or 4th year of detailing and my 3rd year of making videos. So, thank you guys for supporting me. Hope you guys enjoy my content, and I hope you learned something. It's very labor intensive trying to get all of these seat rails and things like that, but with my toothbrush it's pretty quick work. You know, put medium pressure, go work in different varying directions, like do a little crisscross pattern. Moving on to the front area now, because it was just a family friend, I didn't really remove a lot of their attachments or things on the dash. Usually I would remove everything from the car and get to work. We will start with our steam clean. I'm using O&R here with a bunch of different microfibers depending on where I'm wiping down. You know, more textured and harder microfibers for high traffic areas, and then softer microfibers for things like the gauges and the touchscreen and the buttons. In my steamer, I have O&R mixed with water. If you Google Optimum No Rens, you'll find a great product. It has a lot of different uses, so if you're a detailer, I definitely recommend it. In my steamer, it has a lot of cleaning power, and when you wipe down an object, it doesn't dry out and look gray. On a lot of plastics and black rubber, it actually returns back to its original darkness, which I really like, and of course it cleans really well. So I go along here, move your steamer around quickly, don't let it linger on one spot, you might melt something. This is a Bissell steam shot. I'm holding it fairly far away, but in general this unit doesn't really get too hot. It's one of the reasons why I chose it. It gets hot enough to kill some germs, but not hot enough to damage anything, which is really great for detailers. It has a great heat up time as well. So go around these vents, go around the dash, along the plastic trim, get all these buttons along the, control area. If you leave your steamer on there for too long, you could blast off the little white lettering and the symbols on all the text and stuff, so don't get too close. A high traffic area would be the shifter and the steering wheel, so pay some special attention to those. Switch to a different microfiber if you have to. steaming the driver's side now. The steering wheel is well used, it had a lot of grime on it, and one thing that you might find is once you've cleaned the surface, you're gonna reveal a lot of the damage or the wear and tear that is there. Sometimes it's covered up by dirt, or the plastic might look a certain color, and when you clean it you can see the scratches that are in there that were hidden. So your customer might question you on that, but this is why you always have the discussion with them about setting expectations and, you know, what the service entails and what a real detail is. So just a tip for you detailers with a business out there, more so than for your DIYers. Moving on to the trunk here, it wasn't too bad, definitely not as bad as the carpet in the back seats, so I just gave it a very quick vacuum and a brush. I sped up the footage really fast because there's not really much to see here, just a basic vacuum. Moving on to our after montage. I put about 2.5 hours into this SUV, if I remember correctly, and this is the result. A lot of great differences, especially on these front seats, the passenger and the driver's side. I know that the family friend, or I guess the client, was really happy in the end. I'm so used to saying client. But yeah, my friend really loved what I did to the SUV. They were really happy with it, even though it was just a very basic vacuum, but I think it cleaned up nice. Thanks for watching. This has been Bassline Fresh. Enjoy the rest of this after montage, and I'll see you next week with another video.